Hi everyone, welcome to this very special 4-part series premiered on our channel entitled Our Gay Dad. This video is part 4 of a 4-part series, hearing directly from my children how it was to have their dad come out as gay within a very strict Christian environment, and the journey they've taken through it all. In sharing our own story, our hope is that we might encourage other families who have gone through or may experience the same scenario in their own lives. If you've missed the previous 3 parts, you can click the link above to find those and watch them first. If you're not yet a subscriber to our channel, we'd love to have you as a subscriber. Please hit that like button down below and the notification bell to get notified of any new content we post. Also, we'd love to hear any questions or comments that you may have. So please come along with me, McKenna, and Tanner one last time as we finish our story in Our Gay Dad. Do you guys still get what I call the icky factor when it comes to personal display of affection, as you might see from straight couples, let's say at the mall or okay, so you still have like the icky factor going on with guys or two girls doing PDA.
Yeah, go for it, Taylor. I don't feel like it's normal.
Okay.
Like just how it for me growing up, I don't see it how
So it kind of freaks
as
you out.
normal.
It's kind of creepy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't like PDA from anybody in general, so I don't know. I don't think it really bothers me that much because I don't really care. You know what I mean? If you're
Okay,
doing it, you're doing it.
Do you and your husband hold hands walking down the street or in the mall?
I would like to do that. He doesn't like to show PDAs. So yes,
Okay.
we do. But I think if I saw somebody like that, it wouldn't be the icky factor. It would just be like, oh, they're gay, and I wouldn't, that would be my thought, and that would be the end of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not quite going to freak you out. Maybe earlier in your life it would have more, so.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Even maybe 3 or 4 years ago, for sure, but not anymore,
I do have to say, like, it is like McKenna. I don't think of them any less. Like it is. Oh,
Yeah.
they're gay, and okay, we're at
it
the
is
mall.
what it is.
It's
Do you
gone
think-
practically in 2 seconds.
Okay. Do you think gay people can love as fully as straight people?
I do. Oh yeah.
Tanner's thinking.
I feel like biology says no. Human anatomy says no. But I mean, love like that would be. You mean like if somebody's like affectionate, or do you mean?
Well, I
like,
mean, no, just
I
like
would give my life
more
for this
the
person.
emotionally connected very deeply, like somebody, right, you would give your life for them, or you care for them so deeply, that kind of love. I've heard many comments from people that say, gay people can't love like straight people. So that's kind of where I'm coming from.
Did you feel like you loved mom like that?
Looking back, I don't feel that I was giving mom 100% of my love emotionally and physically, but mostly it's more emotionally than anything. I never considered us best friends. Like, we had different interests, and that's not always a gauge either of if you have the same interests or not. But different interests, we didn't see eye to eye on so many things, whereas now, comparing it to a relationship I'm in now, it's a night and day difference because I feel like I'm giving 100% to that other person of my whole being. That wasn't the case with being married to your mother. So I feel like my love is overflowing, not having ever experienced that the first time around. So
yeah, then
I guess you could. Yeah.
When I hear people say that gay people can't love the way straight people do, I totally disagree with that because
I disagree with that.
I'm feeling it much differently than it was, and that's because it's a genuine completeness. You know what I'm saying? But the display of affection, did you guys notice, I mean, hopefully, and we kind of touched on this before, we were very careful around you guys to not put you in a very uncomfortable situation. And so I don't think you ever really had seen anything growing up like holding hands. I'm not talking about, you know, anything crazy. I'm just talking about, kisses or holding hands or whatever. I think none of that ever occurred while you guys were with us.
No, absolutely not. And again, I think that if that had happened, it would have taken a different turn. Um, we would have thought that you were trying to force that on us. But because you held back on that somewhat, because I don't feel like it's as held back now, but I think that we can handle it now that we're older, we understand it more. We just have a different, or at least I do. I can't speak for Emma or Tanner, but I have a different perspective on it. And I think that if that hadn't gone the way that it did, it would be a lot different now.
Yeah, I agree. I'm
Okay.
glad you didn't.
Yeah.
It's like even now I'm not around gay people all the time. Like I've had a guy at work who came in one day and he's fine, but I don't see the side of gay people where they are kissing or holding hands or stuff like that. I don't see that very often, so it's not something that I'm comfortable with
And it's
even
and
now.
would you say that experiencing gay people now more and more, like you just said, somebody coming into your work, or you, McKenna, through your school or what have you, has that helped you understand your father a little bit more, in seeing it in other people and not just your dad, that's the gay one, but understanding, hey, this is somebody that I go to school with, and they're cool, that kind of a thing, or
Yeah, for sure. I don't remember specifically like having that light bulb moment that, oh, my friends are just, they are who they are. But I do have a lot of gay friends in school right now, and it's definitely helped me see a different perspective from just the parent side of that.
mm-hmm. Any comment, Tanner, on that?
Not really.
Okay.
Um, no.
Let's go to any advice if you knew any young people going through this, whether younger than you or even now as young adults that had parents going through this. What kind of advice would you tell them, or even your younger self now, knowing what you know today? But what would you give advice to people whose parents are coming out, later after they've been married to your mom or dad?
For me, I would say if your parents offer for you to go to therapy, go. Even if it doesn't, even if you don't want to talk to somebody about it, or if it seems like it's going to be really hard, in the end, it will really help. And I think the other thing I would say is be really gentle and understanding that what your parents are going through is difficult too. And even though it's hard on you, just remember that it's really hard for them too. And as I've gotten older and I've gotten married and I am an adult now, I do see that you try and have the best relationship that you can. And I've been in relationships that haven't worked out. And it is hard. And I can't imagine being a child going through that. But you need to remember that your parents are trying. They're trying to do the best that they can for you. And it sounds super cliche, but time does heal everything. And if I could talk to my 14-year-old self that was really angry and really bitter, I would also say don't listen to everybody around you. Everybody has their own opinions, and you will grow into what you actually believe. I shouldn't have listened to every single person that was saying something negative about you. I should have been able to come to my own conclusions, and I'm glad that I eventually did. But that's what I would say to my younger self for sure.
For me, I would say, I've always been more like a realist. If it's gonna be, the cup's gonna be half full if you're pouring water in it. If you're drinking, it's gonna be half empty. But like, if you always have the attitude like, hey, I can be better than the situation that I'm in, that's me. I've always been a strong believer in that. But like, as far as therapy goes, I've never been to therapy. But man, I have a best friend who is there for me a lot, and I have told a lot to her, and she helps me through a lot, gives me a ton of different perspectives to look at things. And it really does help to find somebody that you really trust and that you really respect their decisions and their advice to you. Um, but yeah,
And I would also say, in addition to what Tanner's saying, rely on your siblings. You know, like he has a
yeah.
best friend. Your siblings are your built-in best friends. And
Oh yeah.
I really relied on Emma and Tanner for going through everything. And I don't think I would have been able to get through it if it wasn't for them. So,
Yeah. But definitely, there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. Life still goes on. You still have to work hard. You still have to go through stuff. You know, as far as your parents going through stuff, you know, not everybody's situation is like ours, where our parents are actually caring about us. And we're very fortunate in that way. But you know, still respecting your parents is a big thing. Even if you don't agree with them, you know, you can have your own ideas later. um it's it'll be rough, but yeah, it'll it and your situation isn't the same, you know. But making the best out of what you do have is a big thing.
And you both believe that you can maintain your own spiritual beliefs in regards to people being gay and also being cordial and being able to at least be around people that happen to be gay. Not
Very
just
much.
absolutely.
not just
Very
because
much.
I'm your dad, but other people that you might encounter in the world as you go forward in your lives, that you know
Absolutely.
you can still be around them and continue to understand where they're coming from in how they are living.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, for sure.
What advice would you give to parents who are either contemplating coming out or have are in the process of doing this?
Take it slow. You know, your kids should be your first priority. Not necessarily tell them everything that's going on. I feel like that can be detrimental at sometimes for some kids, and depending on how old they are, how much they do know already. But it's a learning process for everybody. So try to see it how they're seeing it, and you know, walk them through it. But it's um it's gonna be rough either way you look at it. I mean, you see your figure leaving from this normal way that they're growing up. But yeah, just walk them through it.
Would it have been easier, because you wouldn't really say that your parents got along during this during at any point in time? Would it have been easier for you to tell other parents that that's the best approach?
Yes, respect each
Um,
other, especially in
yeah,
front of your
don't
kids.
don't bash the other parent in front of the child. And you know, if the parent has siblings or, you know, a lot of family behind them, don't let them bash the parent either. You know, I had a lot of family members who were talked a lot of bad things about my dad, and don't let anybody else in your family speak negatively, because it really does confuse the child. I was very confused on, you know, even if I should love my dad, because it seemed like even that was wrong. So don't act, you know, a certain way around the child, if that makes sense. Just keep it civil and don't drag the name of the other parent down in front of the child, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big one.
And working together towards the end of all the activities and things that you have to do. That is one thing that I think your mother and I were complete failures at, and regretfully so, that we could have worked together on so many things, even though we disagreed with each other on, me being gay or whatever, but just being able to come together just for the sake of you guys on various topics and issues that you guys, but I was pretty much cut out from any of that. So that I do regret. And I would say, for me, from my perspective, that parents that are contemplating this, to say what both of you have already said, is to, explain a lot to them, try to maintain a positive relationship with your significant other through this hard time while you're getting a divorce or separating, so that the kids are not, it's make it as minimal as a blow as possible to them, so that they're not going through such a hard time, is what I guess I would say to others that are contemplating coming out to their kids. Do you feel that you have any more compassion for gay people now that you know your dad is, and just in general, when you see or hear stories of gay people that are bashed or murdered, say for instance in the Orlando nightclub a few years back, do you think, well, hey, that could have been my dad? Or when you hear people say, what we call the F word, in our, if you know what I'm talking about, I won't say it on the video, but a derogatory term towards gay people, those types of things, does it ever like enter your mind? You're like, hey, you're kind of talking about my dad when you say stuff like that, or do you just not hear stuff like that?
Yeah, that bothers me
Yeah.
a lot. That bothers me a lot. I have been around, I don't know, you probably don't know this, Dad, but around the gaming world, there's a
Mm.
lot of derogatory terms that people use, and it really does bother me a lot, actually.
Uh-huh. Okay, so it's kind of affected you knowing that your dad is that way. And
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
There's no reason to say those things. There's no reason to be mean.
right.
Yeah, like in the gaming world, man, a lot of people do talk like that, but I mean, for me, I don't hang around people that talk like that, so it's never been a problem for
Yeah.
me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and another thing, if somebody says that, I don't think, oh, my dad. It's and that's something that I'm grateful for too. Like, I don't see you as like Joe Schmo um that's gay. It's just not like that for me.
Okay.
But
Being gay isn't all encompassing of you. That's just a part of
yeah,
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Well, I think we've pretty much exhausted most of the stuff that we kind of planned to talk about. I mean, and forgive our video feed. Sometimes it was not all that we wanted it to be, and we had to cut out because batteries and stuff. But hopefully, we'll be able to edit this and make it so it's easy for everybody to understand. And we hope that it's been a help to you all. I kind of wanted to get my kids together in the conversation and just share from their perspective what it means for them to have a gay dad and kind of what they went through, so that it may benefit other people out there, whether you're the child or actually the parent that is going to come out. And I think I'm so proud of my 3 kids and where they are today, and I know it hasn't been easy, and I think they still are on a journey with me. They don't have kids yet of their own, so that's a whole nother aspect of things that could come up. Um, and so there's still a lot of learning to happen, and learning for both them and for me as we go forward. But I'm so proud of where they are today and thankful for the love that they show me, despite their maybe disagreement of their dad being gay and how hard it was for them. Do you guys have any last comments that you want to say before we cut it off?
If you have any questions or anything, just leave it down below. It's, you know, we could do this again, and we probably will with our other sister, but it's definitely something that, it's nice to have people to talk to and that know that what you're going through, or a little bit of what you're going through.
Yeah, I would have given anything to have somebody that kind of knew what I was going through at the time. But yeah, it's been a really good conversation. I think it's good to have open dialogue about stuff like this, and I'm just really glad we were able to do it.
Cool. Well, we've only got 2.5 minutes on the clock before we get cut off again. So we'll close it off there. And maybe it would be fun, I don't know, in the future to do even a live stream on this topic, to where we could get live questions and see if we'd have any interest in that down the road. So, all right, guys, thank you. And we will catch you later.
And thanks
Bye.
everybody.
For joining us today in this discussion. It's kind of a heavy topic, but hopefully you got some benefit out of it. Thank you for sticking with us through all 4 parts of our series, Our Gay Dad. We hope our story can be an encouragement to those of you out there who may have similar circumstances within your own families, to let you know that it does get better. If you're not yet a subscriber to our channel, we'd love to have you as a subscriber. Please hit that like button down below, as well as the notification bell to get notified of new content when we post. Also, if you have any questions or comments, we'd love to hear those as well, so put those down on the bottom. As always, thanks again for watching. We'll see you in the next video.